it is 99 days since load shedding. South Africa has not had load shedding in the last 99 days. And a government of national unity brings along a number of changes, especially in the energy sector. It will see the electricity minister's portfolio expand to include energy, removing it from Gwedi Mantashe's group. And at the same time, the National Transmission Company of South Africa has come into existence. It's part of a long-awaited unbundling of Eskom. Chris Yelland, energy analyst, joins me now. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa said not too long ago that he's working hard to put himself out of a job. Chris, he's done his job seemingly so well that he's gotten another job, and that's also the Minister of Energy.
Yeah, he is, of course, the face of the reduction of load shedding and its ending, at least for 100 days. And I think he's been rewarded with high political office, for the clear success. Yes, the really remarkable success that he has achieved and has been effectively promoted. And his role expanded significantly. You may remember he was appointed because of the absolute crisis in energy. It was not dealt with by Minister Gwedi Mantashe, and to the extent that the president had to intervene, had to put in place an emergency energy plan, had to appoint a new Minister of Electricity dedicated specifically to ending load shedding. And I think, as I say, he's been rewarded now for his remarkable success.
I probably said Gwedi Mantashe's grip a little bit too glibly, but him also being Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, also being Minister of Energy, also now frees himself up also to direct energy generation policy and not just ensuring a stability of a Eskom grid and an energy grid, Chris?
That's right. Look, energy goes way beyond electricity. It does include things like coal, nuclear, liquid fuels, which is petrol, diesel, paraffin, aviation fuel, wind, solar, batteries, biogas, biomass. In fact, all these different primary energy sources. Now, it seems that Gwedi Mantashe is also left with petroleum, which is an energy source. So he is now the Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources, and it's really not clear as to what the dividing line is. For example, does petroleum resources include gas? Does it include diesel? Does it include oil? And so I think over time, the dividing line between the departments is going to have to be more carefully defined to avoid, stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, in the statement by the DMRE announcing fuel price adjustments, it also includes illuminating paraffin and LPG gas, as you say, is also energy sources. But also announced is also the dismantling of the Department of Public Enterprises. We do not have a department solely dedicated to the running of state-owned enterprises like Eskom, and now with the unbundling of Eskom, all these other newly formed SOEs. Does that now fall under the department or the ambit of the Department of Energy and Electricity?
Well, it's not clear in the longer term what the arrangement is. The ANC policy is clearly that Eskom should fall with the department previously, Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, and now Department of Energy and Electricity, and that Transnet should fall under its line ministry, which is the Department of Transport. That's the ANC policy, but there's also this idea of having a state holding company, and some of these state-owned enterprises might go into the state holding company. Now, the state holding company hasn't been established yet, but there was a bill that went before Parliament. I'm not sure exactly the status of the bill, but it certainly hasn't been signed into law yet. So again, there is some uncertainty in this matter, but as I understand it, at least for the time being, Eskom will, its line ministry will be the Department of Energy and Electricity, and no longer the DPE, and Transnet will fall under the Department of Transnet, at least for the time being, until the matter of this state holding company is finalized one way or another.
Still, the question asked by our listeners, and you've answered this question many times in many forms and many iterations over the last few weeks. Why? Why is it that now we can celebrate 99 or 100 days load shedding free? What is the magic, the silver bullet that we have managed to implement over the last 99 days to see little or very low risk of load shedding? A question here, but how much diesel have we burnt? Can you ask that question, Chris? We asked that question to you again, a question you've answered a number of times on this show and others as well.
Yeah, there is no single silver bullet. There are a number of factors that have come to the table. So people often ask, who do we give credit to this? Well, I start off by giving credit to the president, it was late. It did take too long, but finally he realized that the DMRE were not getting to the bottom of this problem, and he developed this plan after long consultations. The so-called Energy Recovery Plan, or the National Energy Emergency Plan, and then he set up the National Energy Crisis Committee, NECOM. He appointed a dedicated Minister of Electricity to be held accountable and focus specifically on the problem at hand of load shedding. So I think we can also must give credit to the Minister of Electricity at the time, Minister Ramaphosa. I think we need to give credit to Eskom. There has been a noticeable decrease in the unplanned breakdowns, and this has given them space to do more maintenance. And we need to give credit to National Treasury for making money available to do the extra maintenance, whereas previously Eskom's hands were really tied and unable to do the maintenance because the money hadn't been allocated. I think we need to give credit to business and industry and mining, who all have come to the table and put in this very significant amounts of self-generation, solar PV, wind, battery energy storage. There's been the introduction of wheeling and trading in South Africa, which have all added to this. Unfortunately, we have to give credit to the weak economy because it hasn't been growing very much. If it had been growing faster, we would probably have more load shedding. We need to give credit, unfortunately, to the massive rising of prices of electricity, which has made customers look to alternative energy sources, gas for cooking, gas for heating, all managed energy efficiency and demand management techniques. And we need to give credit to a change in the energy intensity of the South African economy as we move, as a result of high prices, of course, away from the energy intensive industries of the past to light industries and services. There's been a noticeable change in the energy intensity of South Africa. And all of these things come together, but ultimately the face of the energy, of the end of load shedding, is the face of the person who was given accountability and given the task to do it, and that's Minister Ramaphosa. It's not all his work, but he has brought a new energy that was completely missing from the previous minister, the DMRE minister, completely missing. He brought a new energy to ending this fast, and he did it, and I think he's been rewarded for it.
Chris Yelland, energy analyst, really appreciate your time. 99 days since we've had load shedding. Where are your gadgets, your goodies, your little rechargeable batteries? We benefit from a small little roller inverter that keeps the TV on, the Wi-Fi on, the light or two. We use gas, but there's a little film of dust on that little wheelie inverter. And have you put your gadgets away? 99 days without load shedding.